Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of the Traitors US streaming on Peacock, episodes 7 and 8. I'm Jonny Fairplay, joined as always by Dan Montchal, Alex Trias, one of our favorite, we can't show bias here, one of our favorite traitors or faithfuls, Rachel Reilly, and entering our circle of truth today, we have Stephanie LaGrossa, Survivor royalty, and as faithful as it gets, and the second worst judge of character in the house.
Hey! No, I was on to them. I knew.
We'll get there. So I don't think this is a hot take. Quentin has the worst guesses, okay?
Wait, that is hilarious. Everything he says is wrong. Like,
yes,
every
everything
name he throws out is wrong.
You are mostly wrong. I feel Kate potentially has more wrong than you, but she doesn't care.
No. But here's the thing. It's a lot of editing. Because I said Christian and Cody from day one, and they don't show it until later.
Okay.
So editing is a beautiful thing.
Oh, well, I mean,
I love it.
We're no stranger to that.
I was going to say, I felt like Stephanie was on to Christian. For some reason, I was so blinded by his van life vibes. But I was so, on to Cody. And Stephanie and I were like, it's Cody. It's Cody.
We were on to Cody day one.
Day one. Yeah. But the problem is that you have, we had that, at that time, 8 other people we had to convince.
And here's the thing. If it gets around to the traitors, you're throwing their name out, you're murdered. So it's a fine line. It's a very touchy. You got to feel people out quietly. And even Sari, we were like, it's definitely Cody. And she was like, okay. I mean, they don't show this.
Yeah. Right. But she's cool. But she's got you in her,
well, that's the thing. There's not really an alliance.
She's playing a perfect game.
She played a
perfect game.
She played a great game.
A flawless game. She is like what Cody said, what people will be playing the game like for years to come.
Right. If you're a traitor, you cannot play it any better than that. But Sari, there were times I did think deep down she was, but I'm like, I'm not saying anything because even if she is, she might be keeping me safe right now on that side.
Yeah, just because you're not saying her name.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut with her.
You can feel it on the inside, but keep it there.
That was it. And then Christian, I was really onto even before episode 7. And, finally they do see me saying it's a Rachel. And she's like, okay, but let's attack that later. Which that was just a bad move. And I was like, okay. But, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, Johnny, you know what gets me, with Christian to make me know he's a traitor? Episode 7 and 8, he is still wearing the rugby shirt tucked in.
Oh, God.
Running around in it.
Notice that stuff.
A lot of people, I know, people text me about that. They're like,
there's nothing worse than a rugby shirt, number one. But to tuck it in, Jesus, stop.
Well, and then I think, with Christian, just every single day was always so happy. I don't know how we missed that stuff. It's just because he plays that goofy guy, that fun, goofy guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was in on every conversation. You never could get away from Christian. There's a point where Kyle Cook is trying to talk to me that they don't show. And Christian comes in and is like, guys, can I come in? And he goes, actually, you know what? Can you just give me a minute? Every time I turn around, you're there. I just feel like it was the funniest thing ever. And he's like, God, I just can't get I can't get away from him.
It appeared like on the Seinfeld episode, the guy that follows Elaine and she gives him the Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
He literally appeared if you're paying attention to the show, it's just every time someone's talking, he just sits, is like, hey, with a big smile.
Yeah. Yes.
You're so right, because he is always there.
He's always there.
When did Christian get here?
and something the edit keeps showing that once Ari becomes a traitor, it's something I really keyed in on. A lot of the episodes I went back, I'm like, they would show in the edit so many times. He comes running up to Ari. He comes running up to Cody. He would be attached to their hip.
Yep.
The entire way.
Funny,
I thought, because Christian was always around, I thought he was paranoid. I thought he was scared that people were talking about him. And so I was always like, this must be his way to cope with the paranoia and with making sure his name isn't out there. Right. But then after knowing that Ari had turned, they show in the edit, he just follows, follows Ari around. They go in a different room. They're like
Yes.
become all of a sudden become best friends, and they hadn't been.
Yeah.
But I don't think we picked up on it quick enough. That's the problem.
We didn't. And, you know, we did talk a little bit more about Christian than they showed.
Yeah.
And all it was Rachel.
Right.
You know, so again, the editing.
Right.
But,
I think too, Steph, like even if we would have brought it up at the round table, because I kept telling Stephanie in our text messages, I'm like, we should have brought it up at the round table. I don't think we could have convinced Andy. It's just, I don't think we ever had their vote.
yeah, or Quentin.
Oh yeah, no.
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 They still don't realize that they're playing in a game, and apparently, if you say this is a game show, there's a suspect.
Right, or if you get upset because you're a faithful about to be freaking banished, your true colors come out. Like, what is he talking about? I was like,
we'll have something to
he's
say there.
pissed because it's not. She's a faithful. Like, hello.
Yeah.
And Kate was good TV. I got to give her that, and she really is funny. But she really was brutal. Like, there were times where she was like, no, seriously, like, and early on, not just recent. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm above this. This is beneath.
Oh yeah,
me.
it was obvious.
Yeah.
But
Like, even if they didn't show it, you knew it.
You could say it on camera.
Yeah.
Like, so the people that really wanted to be there were kind of getting like, and not even just me, like others that, I mean,
It's
Amanda
obvious.
texts me, she's really emotional watching her throw money away because Amanda could, you know, a lot of people would really use that money.
Right.
So, you know, but Kate's good TV. I mean, you either love her or hate her, I guess.
Well, Rachel,
And
we have some tea for you.
Oh, what's the tea?
Big T. Alex brought this to our attention, and
they're
I
aware
don't
of it.
know. I mean, this isn't something you should brag about, Alex.
I know.
If you were
No.
Kate.
No, it's the first Traitors baby.
The
First
first
Traitors baby.
baby.
Oh, that is good tea. Well, we found out in New York, but I know you're right. Next time I do a show with Kate, and be like, nobody thinks it's cool that you're the first Traitors baby.
No, it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I'd be embarrassed about it. No.
And since we are in the circle of truth, and she has not gone public with the father. Hello.
It's you, Johnny.
It's-
Confesses.
I
Well,
didn't want to say.
Confesses. Right?
I'm in the circle of truth.
Oh, that's going to be a beautiful baby. Blonde hair. Lots of
Right?
blonde hair.
I
Right?
know, that's what I was going to say. Beautiful baby. And, you know, in real life, Kate is lovely. It's just like she knows how to be. And I wish what my biggest take is looking back, my biggest take for my next show is I need to be more vocal or not more vocal, but explain better. And like, maybe like use my words better, communicate. That's what Brendan always tells me, communicate. I wish when I was saying why I thought Kate was a traitor, I wish I would have communicated that better, because I think I could have, maybe could have convinced more people instead of just saying she's a traitor. That, you know, that's the problem in these.
You should have just yelled it like she did with you.
Well, yeah, she was yelling. Here's the problem, though. Kate wasn't a traitor. So the only reason.
That doesn't help you.
No, it didn't help me. That wouldn't have helped me. But
don't you remember, Rachel? She came after me early on and she was telling everybody I was a traitor. They don't show that. It just looks like I'm going after her. And it was this whole big thing that went on in the castle that she was like trying to do reverse psychology on people. And I would not say I was a traitor because I wasn't. I was like, no, I'm a faithful. And she's like, see, if you're a traitor, you're not allowed to say you're a traitor. So she's walking around telling everybody I'm a traitor. But it was like a weird reverse against our contract thing. And from that point, she was trying to prove I was a traitor. And I was like, you know what? I actually think she just was in breach of contract. It was like a whole big deal.
No, she doesn't care if she's in breach of contract.
I know. But she came after me and I was like, and then she just did shady things the whole time. That was like crappy, faithful behavior or traitor.
Yeah. And I think looking back, we like, I think the point when Kate and got turned on us, I guess, Steph, was when her and Brandy, I'm looking back and I was watching the show and I do remember this. Her and Brandy were really pushing for Michael. And you and I were like, I don't think it's Michael.
Right.
And I think they wanted us to just follow and like fall with them. And we were like, no, it's not Michael. And they show a little bit on the show when I like say, I don't think it's Michael. He said he's like, you know, just has social anxiety, and I walk out of the room. And I think they took that as like, she's not with us, she's against us. Yeah. And then because you and I were such close friends and we were always having the same reads, I think that's when Kate was like, called us the evil twin sisters or whatever.
The evil step.
The evil
And
stepsisters.
even back then, we were like, it's definitely Cody. But no.
Yeah. Oh, and then also 100% we said it was Cody. Also, remember when Brandy was like, Stephanie's throwing your name out, and I'm like, there's no way Stephanie's throwing your name out there.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, she's a traitor. Stephanie's a traitor. They're traitors together.
Snake in the Grass Alliance. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
right.
that's just as likely as Ryan pitching a name or knowing what show he was on.
Yeah, Ryan.
Exactly.
My favorite part is Rachel's like, oh no, Stephanie's a terrible liar. She's definitely not a traitor.
Yeah.
They don't say why. They don't say how. There's nothing. They just and then Brandy's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with episode 7. I did not write down the name of this episode. I apologize. But episode 7, Cody, where do you see a traitor? And Suri is voting with the faithfuls.
Oh yeah,
And,
Cody is still. We're at the banishment where Cody may or may not banish.
Great move by Suri right there.
Yes.
Christian.
And Cody is Suri's vote. And I'm just like, here we go. And the most votes, boom, Cody in the circle, crying.
Yeah.
And I think these are real as they get tears.
Oh,
They
he was
are.
a wreck.
They
He was
are.
a wreck the whole game like that. They showed him calm and cool. He was not. The only time he talked was at a challenge or after the banishment when they would give us a glass
That
of
makes a
water
lot
beer.
more sense.
He wouldn't even speak.
Yeah, this game was not in his wheelhouse.
No.
No, and he wanted
I think he was really upset about banishing Ryan because he liked Ryan, and or murdering Ryan, whatever. And I think the lies were catching up to him, and he doesn't like I said, Cody is very much that guy that like wants to be seen a certain way. He doesn't like to, go against people and murder people and talk about the people, and like he wants to be a good guy, and he is. Like, I think he probably is. And like I just think that's why he couldn't handle being a traitor. He thought in his head it was going to be way different, and then in real life it's just, it's just a game, right? But it's not.
Oh no!
I don't know.
No,
I think it
no.
truly shows your character.
Yes.
it started getting to Suri a little bit. I mean, she wasn't going to let it ruin her, but I mean, she shed a couple tears.
Oh yeah, no, she's getting there. So I mean, it's very taxing. You can tell, and but I'm glad Cody was true. Like I feel that Cody was a great traitor, and for his story to end right there, it was boom boom. I mean, let's say Cody's the perfect traitor, Suri's the perfect traitor, Christian's the perfect traitor. They make it all the way to the end. That's not a good show,
right? Yeah. You have to have someone go out sooner than later. And in the UK, when was it, Alex? They had 3 weeks, three banishments before a traitor went, right?
Yeah. There was 3 rounds, and then the first one got taken out. Yeah. But then, like, they got to have their third person potentially come in a lot sooner than you guys had. Yeah, but
well, and here's another thing. Like, they never told us there were 3 traitors. They told us there could be up to 5. So we actually never knew. We never knew a number.
And that's a big difference.
Christian at one point was like, "Oh no, there's definitely 3," and I'm like,
"Of course,
of course, he said that."
I mean that you know what? That's him perfectly, because he's also describing why people are the last people to enter the room, why they could potentially be getting killed.
Like, shut up! Like, just shut up. And then Cody couldn't stand him apparently.
Oh, there's no way. I would kill him.
So like we would get to challenges and Cody would look at me and be like, Christian, just stop talking, and like say really funny things. Like Cody would finally come out, like his personality. Then we get to the castle and he'd be like real serious and not like even talk to me. And I'm like, why is he so cool? Like at a challenge when you're not thinking about all this stuff. And then in the castle, he's like, Mr. Like,
Well, he's losing his mind because you got Mr. Talks a lot sitting beside me.
When he left, I was so upset because he was the only one that would look at me like anytime Christian did anything, and he would like make the same look I was thinking. And I was like, damn it, where's Cody?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, apparently Kyle too, I mean.
Oh, Kyle. Oh, and Ryan. Oh my gosh.
It was crazy because going into this challenge for episode 7, I think I was in the car. Wait, is episode 7, was that our wacky
that was the poltergeist 3 things were different.
So not that one. It must have been challenge 6 then. The barrels. Going into I rode in a car with Christian in our sweet rides that we took.
Sweet rides.
Sweet rides. I went in, we were like jamming out to Bob Marley the entire time. So like, again, this is another reason why he was like totally winning me over. Me putting the blinders on. He's just a goofy Bob Marley lover. He knows every single word of a Bob Marley jam. Like, I'm thinking he is the van life guy that he's telling us he is.
It's a lot easy. It's a lot easier to memorize song lyrics when you don't have to worry about making a mortgage payment. I'm just saying.
Yep.
True, right?
You have a lot of free time on your hands.
Or kids or anything else.
Just throwing that out there.
True.
So power
Living the life,
bills.
Christian. Living the life.
Yeah. Livin. He is the Cody of the Traitors.
So these 2 episodes are like a good, once again, highlighting Rachel. You get a lot more screen time, Stephanie, in these 2 episodes. But another person who like really breaks out of their shell in these episodes is Ari.
Yeah.
And this is where we get, everyone's celebrating about getting a traitor. We finally got a traitor, but he notices Shelby's not making a reaction.
Real quick about before we get to when Cody admits he's a traitor, the hugs, in addition to just the raw, pure emotion in that room, are one of the best moments of the show.
I agree, yeah.
And it's only matched by the end of the next episode.
Oh, I know. It is crazy because you're right. And if you're binging this at the same time, you see that within the 2 hours where it is like that arc that we take in the show, right? Where you see this like the cheering and the love and everyone coming together. I think it's like even there's that mini arc because we overcome the cabin in episode 8. And then at the end of it, it's like a big, so you see the highs and the lows and why.
Oh, yeah. We end with an Empire Strikes Back moment.
Yes, exactly. And
and we can only hope we get Return of the Jedi for 9 and 10 or else.
Well, we do definitely get that.
No, it's really, I mean, like, I think for anyone watching this, I think a lot of people's expectations for Snake in the Grass were so high, and for it to be condensed to 1 hour, I felt did not meet those expectations. Yeah. Whereas this, you're just, like, for me personally, I kind of set my expectations lower because I'm just like, all right, I got so pumped for that, and Singing the Grass was not what I wanted. Like, please let this remotely be what I want. And you're watching the first few episodes, you're like, this is good, this is funny, but is it really going to bring me in emotionally as a viewer? And then, as I said, we get to episode 7, I'm just like, okay, stop it. This is what I was looking for. I'm not supposed to cry.
Yeah,
I'm a bad guy.
What makes this show so great is I feel like you go on the journey and the emotional journey that the players do as well. Like, you start off not really knowing anyone. Like, obviously you have half reality people, so there's connections in that sense. But you're learning these people. You're learning how they interact with each other, and then you can see them getting closer as the episodes go on and how straining it is. And then you get to this later half where you're like, you feel strained because you are now invested in everyone there. You know who the traitors are. You're like, oh, why can't they just get this one right?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
I'll be embarrassed if I go before I get a traitor.
Poor Kyle.
No, it's a mind fuck for not only you guys but for the viewers.
Yeah,
the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's why I think it's why it's such a compelling show, because you do see so many of these like highs and lows, and there's really no like ultimate. I feel like there's no ultimate like oh my gosh, what's it called when you have that moment where you're just like, oh, this is like that storybook put a bow on it moment, because like you don't get that until the very end of the show, right?
So like an epiphany or something.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I knew an exotic dancer named Epiphany.
Of course you did. I mean, I kept a journal like in my room, and I need to find it because like I wrote down the 3 names day 1.
Did you? I you're good. You're good.
Like, but I
did too.
Put 3. I was like, no. But Christian and Cody were my main, and then I let Kate come in, and then Shelby a little bit started being a little shady. She started calling me out. They didn't really show it that much, so I'm like, all right, could be Shelby, Yeah.
Right.
She wouldn't vote for Cody. Like, people were making valid points. But the Traitors definitely have an advantage if you can keep up with the lie, you know?
Well, then
absolutely.
I think what we see after, so this is what really stood out to me also about Shelby. After the trial in episode 6, when myself, Kate, and Angelica are all named, Angelica starts bawling, crying.
Right.
And Cody is right in there to follow her. Then Kate goes right in there to comfort her. And then Shelby goes right in there to comfort her. So to me, because I think Cody's a traitor, I think Kate's a traitor.
Right.
I see Shelby in there with Angelica. Why are you comforting her?
The third traitor.
The third, right. So I'm thinking,
Because they're living with this guilty conscience.
right, exactly.
Obviously.
They feel guilty. They feel bad about it. And then we find out Cody is a traitor, right? So we banished Cody. Now it's like Shelby's, again, Ari notices Shelby's not really,
Right.
She acts like she already knew. She's not really cheering like the rest of us are. Shelby votes for me also, right? So like Shelby, Kate, and Cody, the 3 votes for me. And I know I'm a faithful. Stephanie knows I'm a faithful. So these things start to kind of like add up where it's like, why the suspicion is on Shelby. And we talked to Shelby. Stephanie and I both talked to Shelby that day. And we're like, tell us why you're a faithful. Like, tell
She
us.
couldn't really, no valid points.
And she
like
was
this.
hiding this like secret, which we see at the end of the episode, that she was hiding, that she told everyone she's a kindergarten teacher. So she is hiding something from us. So it's a valid, like, I won't want to say vibe, but it is
Right.
a valid vibe that we get from her, that she's keeping something from us.
Right.
I am so over new reality contestants thinking they need to hide something about themselves when they don't need to hide something
No.
about themselves.
It's
We
not
don't
a big
care.
deal.
We don't
No.
like you could be vice president. I wouldn't care.
Right. And that, when she said that, like, she's like, I've been in the presence of millionaires and whatever she said. Like,
Yeah, me
I was
too.
like, okay.
Her name's
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the point? Like, who cares?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have pinball tables. Sandra doesn't relax.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's a PR person. We have to murder her. Like that's not something that would really cross my
No.
mind. Unless like
No.
unless you say like, oh, I'm a PR person and you are actually good at the game. Then I would be like, okay, we need to get you out.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to connect level. What was that noise? Did you hear that?
That might have been your car, maybe like the motorcycle or something.
Oh, no, I'm parked. But I am at my daughter's horse show, sorry. So she just got in the car, but that's okay. So that's why I'm dressed like this and I'm in a car. But and I was trying to like talk to her about
you have driving outfits?
no, it's
Oh, wow.
freezing
We're
here.
in
Probably does
presence-
have driving outfits.
We're in the presence of
Stephanie.
greatness. They have their driving outfit
I'm
on.
in the car doing this because I'm at a horse show and it's 36 degrees in Florida. It's freezing. That's why I have the hat on.
Oh, it must be nice to have all those horses and all the things that fancy people have.
Listen, we don't actually. She's on a team. You pick out a hat and you ride in somebody else's saddle. It's called IEA. Anyway,
Must be nice to be on a team with other people that like you.
Yeah.
hey, you and me both, okay? How do you think I feel? My 5th show, all right? Let's not talk about that. Okay.
Oh, it must be nice to have 5 shows.
I'll forget it. But listen,
Yeah.
I tried to talk to Shelby about like being a mom and kids,
Right.
and I had a kid just out of kindergarten, and I was like, how is that being a kindergarten teacher? Like, God bless you, I could never. And she was like, and she just like changed the subject.
Yeah.
It was like the weirdest thing. Like she couldn't even talk about her lie
Because she's scared she'd F up with the rest of her lie. And it's
right.
just
So
like,
why even say it? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you,
Because I have like Adora was in kindergarten while we were filming, and I was like, it's so hard because I'm away from Adora, and so we would talk about being away from our kids, and then I would say the same thing, like, but you're with kindergartners all day, so do you get burnt out because you have to go home to your kids?
Yeah.
And she's like, so what? Tell me about Adora, and I was always like, okay.
it was so bizarre. Like
it was-
trying to get to know her was hard because
Yeah.
she was keeping up with a lie, I guess.
yeah. Stephanie, have you ever watched Australian's version of Survivor?
No,
There's this guy.
I
There's this
talked
guy
to
Dirty.
Sandra about it. She said
There-
it's brutal.
It is. Well, there's this guy Dirty Harry, which is like their version of Jonny Fairplay.
Okay.
And Dirty Harry shows up on a season, and so like he gets there, and everyone has kids except for him. And so he's like, oh, like, I'm going home because all these idiots have kids. And so so he's like by himself because he doesn't fit in. So like on day 3, they're just like, Harry, like, why are you isolating yourself? He's just like, oh, he goes, I miss my son. I have a 2-year-old or 18-month-old. I can't remember, whatever, something under 2. Or under 3. He's like, I just miss my kid. And they're like, oh, what's your kid's name? And he's just like, like Oscar. I don't know. And so they're like, what does he like to do? He goes, he really likes watching me play Nintendo. That's like his favorite thing is watching me play Nintendo. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And so he's sitting there and he was just like, he's doing his confessionals. He's like, I don't have a kid. He's like, kids are gross. And he was just like, he goes, and I really wish they'd stop asking me questions. He's like, how old is a kid before they talk? Like, what, 4? So finally it's like episode 6 or 7 or whatever, and he's been busted lying like 4 other times, and they're at tribal, and they're like, Harry, you lied about this, like, I bet you don't even have a kid. He goes, I don't.
Oh.
And they still don't vote him out.
Oh, that's like Kate. That's like Kate.
Yeah.
So it was amazing because I'm just like,
that's hilarious.
It was so great. So it's just like, how old is a kid before he starts talking? What, 4 or 5? Just like, yep, nailed it.
So
6.5. They say their first word. It's beautiful.
Right. That's great.
So I'm gonna bring us back into episode 7. So you guys got a traitor. It's now we get the little bit about Shelby. Now it's time for the murder to happen.
Super quick, Alex. On Cody's exit, he said the burden was crushing him. Saria's playing the game perfectly, and Christian is a bro. Just the same Cody we've seen in anything he's ever done. He found his bro, and Christian was his bro.
Christian was
Quote unquote his bro.
But he still can't not put a dig on him. Because
Right.
he's like, Sari is playing this game perfectly. Christian, he's there.
He's a bro.
He's doing okay.
He's a bro.
But he's voting because Sari's telling him where to vote.
Right.
But Rachel, so how did you believe you were going to be hit that night instead of Angelica?
Oh, murdered. Yeah, 100%. I thought they would, but I spent the entire day matching Angelica's energy. I went around telling everyone I was safe and winking at them. I did everything I possibly can because I wanted them to think I had the shield. And I don't know, it didn't look like it in the editing it came into play. So I don't know. I have to ask Sari if she thought I had the shield, but I literally did everything I could that day to try to make it seem like I had the shield.
Gotcha.
I wanted so bad, I wanted so badly to make sure I didn't get murdered. And I had a 50% chance because why would you murder Kate? That's what I kept thinking.
Right.
And if I was a traitor, we tried to set it up so the traitors had to murder Kate. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're not going to murder Kate because that's the perfect out to not murder Kate, right?
Perfect shield.
The perfect shield. We should have just given Kate the armory the armory whatever, because then it would have been maybe a little bit
one less. Yeah.
Right. Well, unfortunately for all of you, there seems to be only one person who's capable of gaining a shield and has a massive horseshoe, a rabbit's foot, a lodge somewhere in his body. Ari is part of me was after the 3rd time, I'm like, is production just hiding the shield until Ari comes in? And then they're like, okay, Ari, you get to have this.
And that was crucial for me. I was 1 and 2 because you guys went in first.
Yeah.
It was only down to 2 boxes.
I am under the impression that there's nothing in any box until Ari goes in. And
no, there is one because you can feel it. You can feel it when you pick it up. Yeah. And I was in the armory 4 times, never got it. They only showed me going once, but
I was in the armory 5 times and never got it.
That's
I don't think it's in there until Ari goes in.
Right.
Yeah, did he?
I don't even think they put it in the box. Like you guys pull, and they're just it doesn't matter. They can pull whatever one they want, and then Ari goes in. They're like,
oh no, not 5. I just made that up. I was not in the armory 5 times.
Okay.
I think I was in there. I probably lied too. 3 times.
Jesus, what are you?
I was in
Wow.
Do you think we're faithfuls?
Yeah.
Cody, I'm a terrible liar.
Are you guys
Cody-
traitors or faithfuls?
Cody was the first one that got it. Remember that? And then it was a big deal.
But that's a spoiler alert. We're not a podcast.
What?
You're not allowed to talk about.
that.
Oh, that he got it. They just didn't air it. Isn't that okay? No,
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think it's fun. He's gone.
because they said they were just going to air what was needed
Relevant.
as part of the show. So I guess that didn't come into play for him because he was a traitor. But
Yeah. No, you got. I mean, like if you're Michael Davidson, you're scared to talk about this stuff. But I mean, you guys are reality royalty. You can say whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, you're
I
all
love
good.
Michael Davidson.
I feel like that. Oh, what? They're not going to cast either one of you for a show again? Stop it.
No, I know. You know, we got Stephanie and I said we got to get on our alliance, get on our games because we're at that point, like 6-month mark. We're ready.
I'm studying how to lie better. I'm really studying it. I'm in a podcast. I'm doing really good.
Perfect, right?
Yeah. I got 17 shields.
I went into the army 70 times. I got the shield once.
Don't even
Never
try,
tried it.
folks.
Don't
I
even.
got it.
Right?
Don't
Yesterday,
even.
I was trying to make a joke like Kate's Sherlock Holmes joke, and it took me like 10 minutes to come up with my joke that I had pre-written.
Yes, a 10-minute follow-up on her Nancy Drew sweater remark.
Yeah, I know. I was like, man, what is wrong with me? This is why I can't come up with like the best jokes right on the spot.
But when she's got them in her back pocket, she's ready. So
That's
don't
right, I'm
worry.
ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
It took me 2 weeks to come up with floaters, grab a life vest, but you know what? It's iconic.
Grab a life vest.
Hey, it's etched
caught
in
on.
history.
Right? Literally, it caught on. It's history.
Okay, so it's time for breakfast. Kate doesn't want to be murdered. She wants to be banished so she can tell everyone that they're wrong. She also wants to get paid. Kate ain't getting murdered. Kate has arrived. You're a traitor. It's a gift and a curse. Ari shows the shield. Commercial, great time. And boom, who comes in? It's Rachel. Yay! And this is replied with, Kate's here. And Alan is sensing the just disgust by the two of you, especially by Kate. He says, "Carpe diem, embrace the day, Kate."
I swear these hosts do such a good job of reading the room. And,
yeah.
because like we saw that in All Stars 2 with TJ. Like he'll find the person who's having the least fun time. She's like, "Isn't today great? Like everything's perfect. Is everything's butterflies and rainbows, right, Kate?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Kate. I know. Alan was so good at telling the best like one-liners, or he had these best like things for us to pick up on throughout the whole. Like he was so aware and witty, and just like everything was so great. Like, and like he said, he could totally read the room. Like when Angelica was crying, he was like, "All right, that." You know, the time to mourn is done, and then it's
Right.
like, move on.
You're crying again.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can tell he's having fun. I
Laugh. He would like be like, "Okay, stop," because he would be laughing. He
Yeah.
was great.
He was amazing.
Like I think like when the show first starts and they're like, okay, you're doing like you come in breakfast, you do this, and then at night you have to put the stupid letter under the door, and he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah.
You guys can do that. He goes, I will go to breakfast, say something funny. I will go to the mission, say something funny, and I will go to the banishment and say something funny.
Yeah.
And then we're done. I am not walking a letter. That's called PA work. So if you want me to be funny on these three things, we're subtracting the stupid letter from my responsibilities.
Did he deliver the letter in the first one?
The first
episode, I think
banish-ments,
we have a shot of his.
Oh,
command.
that's right.
but I would not be shocked if he did both those things the first night and was like, yeah, this is not happening again.
Where was Fergus? Fergus should have been delivered.
I know. What? Yeah,
Right.
Fergus is available.
Letter delivered.
Right. Fergus.
Fergus would have been great delivering it, like putting it on the door and then just looking at the camera like blankly afterwards.
Oh, season 2.
I love Fergus. Fergus is hilarious.
Fergus is awesome.
Yeah, you know
His
what?
looks are just like they're just epic. He's great.
Rumor and
That's-
innuendo. I mean, I do not have DNA confirmation on me and Kate's baby. Could potentially be Fergus's.
It could be Fergus.
Just throwing that out there. Plausible deniability.
How about her bathtub scene? I'm like, wow.
Right.
That's
I said I'm like, when did she record that? Like where? What? Like who had a bathtub bathtub. Like, what bedroom had a bathtub? I did
Oh,
not
apparently, I'm guessing Angelina had a bathtub with her room that was so much better than Kate's.
Oh, and then she's taking her room. I'm
Right?
like, oh, you're like, that was so good. You're like, Kate, she's not even gone 5 minutes. You're taking her room already.
No, you can have it the next night after I'm gone.
Yeah. Except they're not going to vote for me because I'm a traitor, but I'm not.
But at least she finally says in confessional like that she's very much aware of that. She's like, I'm never gonna get murdered. There's no point.
Yeah.
I am gonna constantly try to throw myself into the edit so that I could get voted out.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, there's a we have a couple episodes where she's just mad at the world because she's like, this nothing I want to happen is happening, and then it finally hits her what is really happening, and then she's like, I get it. She's like, my new mission is not to win, is to make Rachel Reilly's life miserable.
And just make life hell for everybody.
Yeah, literally.
Don't you remember at one point she wrote on her slate like
help me.
Help
me.
me.
I wish
And
they
Ari was like,
shown that because it was hilarious.
Ari was like, and like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're just.
I love that she tries to vote for herself.
She did try to vote for herself, and they're like, Kate, you actually can't vote for yourself.
Yeah.
like she reluctantly voted for you, Rachel.
I know.
She's like,
I really want it to be me, but since it can't be me, Rachel, I'm voting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick, we have a super chat. Catherine Allen, hello. Just wanted to shout out my favorite podcast.
Hey,
Well,
Catherine
thank
Allen.
you, Catherine. We appreciate that. You're one of our favorite viewers.
Yeah, I thought that was like great when she wrote "Help Me." It was at that point that I was like, this girl this is on purpose. This is great TV. She knows exactly what she's doing, and like I'm just gonna play with it. That's when I think also you can tell the Kate and I banter becomes a little bit more like fun. Like Brendan said, it was like in the beginning, he thought it was like a little bit like, what are they doing? And then he said throughout the rest of the episodes, it became a little more fun.
Right.
Where it was like,
this
is great TV. This is like funny. It's like a little back and forth.
I don't think she hates you.
No. She's just so good at those quips to dig on people. And then like you get to have your moment in episode 8 where you get to like do it to every single person at the table. And it was just like, okay. Perfect storytelling. But
dude, and I will get to episode 8, but go ahead. Episode 7. Do I ask Kate about her cape in episode 8 or 7? I think
that was funny too.
Right,
said that you get your cape.
I think it's the beginning of 8.
Yeah, I think it is the beginning of 8.
That was hilarious.
So before we get into the challenge, the other note besides the Shelby of it all, we learned about her like connecting with Cerise trying to help her out, be like, hey, be part of the discussion, don't isolate. But there then becomes a topic in these 2 episodes that's pretty heavy from Kate of there is this clique that Shelby and I aren't in. Was this like something that people were aware of? Like you guys were all together, like voting together, or was it just like, how did you perceive it as you were watching this back?
I didn't know there was a clique. It was me and Stephanie. And like, yeah, if you want to call that a clique, but like,
well, it was like me and you and Sari, and then it was Sari and Andy and Quentin, and then it was like you with Andy a little bit, and me with Andy a little bit, and you with Ari, and then Christian thought he was in with everybody. So there wasn't really like a clique. Right. I just think Kate was on the outs with everybody because she was annoying everybody, and then
throwing away money.
Hard to get to know.
Yeah. I think what we see is that Kate is probably seeing that Ari is like, you know, said the thing about Shelby, and then Stephanie and I are already picking up on the Shelby stuff. So maybe she's thinking there's a clique with like me, Stephanie, and Ari. Right. And maybe she thinks there's Cerise in the clique, but like, I feel like Cerise was so good at not being in any cliques.
Right.
Stephanie
she really was with everybody.
Well, I am not good at not being in a clique. I am that person in a game where if I have a person, I'm so loyal that I just like, I can't turn my back on them. I can't like, you know, I will. And I'd rather be with my person than try to play the game. And that's like my biggest game problem of these competition shows. Like I would have rather hung out with Stephanie every second and just talked to her, like whatever, talked about anything, than to have to go and like play the game and have to like force myself to talk to people that I'm not really, you know.
But it was also because we both really did trust each other and deep down knew we were both faithfuls. And even though we thought we knew others were, and we thought we knew some were traitors, like you really didn't know.
Right.
So like it was just, it's so
the
mental.
only person I really thought for sure was not a traitor was Stephanie. Like,
and I never once voted, like we voted similar. I wouldn't vote for her. I was like, I know she's a faithful.
Yeah.
Like I was the only one that I was, and I'm looking at Sari and I'm looking at Christian and I'm like, are you kidding me? Sari
Right.
Look at me.
And you didn't know, because even with Andy, when everyone thought that they were a faithful. We all thought the whole time that Andy is got to be a faithful. They have to. Right. They act like a faithful. They have said a million times they can't be a traitor.
Anybody that they're not. Exactly.
Right, exactly. But there always was in the back of my head that, well, would that not be the perfect line? You know, would that not be the perfect cover up? So maybe Andy is that good. But I mean, I genuinely thought Andy was a faithful. But then, of course, you do have those times when you think in the back of your head. But with Stephanie, it was never. I always was, Stephanie is a faithful. I don't have to worry about her. So I always felt more comfortable.
Yeah, and I knew you weren't. I mean, I knew it. You were like on it since day one with me with Cody, and then that challenge, you wanted the barrels like so bad. That was I knew. Well, I really did think Christian. I really did early on, but
I would have picked up on that more.
But
I know we probably should have talked about that more. That was.
At this point in the episode, people are finally listening to you, Stephanie, and the clairvoyant of the series is here because it's obviously Shelby and Kate.
Yeah.
It's just so great because this is exactly how it was like on the UK too. It's like they finally got their first one, and then people are like, "Oh, I'm so good at this."
Yes,
it's all of these people.
Yeah.
Now that you're finally listening to me, the whole Quentin of it all, it is Shelby and Kate.
They were always my number one and number two. Don't have a number three yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But as you guys are still talking about this, but oh no, we hear screams. We have screams, and we find out that Brandy was ransacking his billiard room looking for the gray goose. It was still not there.
It is still not there. And Ryan finally escaped the hidden door room. And so, hey.
At that challenge, I definitely thought you guys were going to get like all three. I was like, oh, they're going to kill
God,
it.
I thought we were
Andy, they're going to kill it.
So embarrassing.
That
I've
was
never
hard.
got that bad in a challenge in my life.
No, that was a hard one. And I suck at those things. Like, and I even said it. I was like, I'm not good at this. But Kate said she was so good at it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, there's shit everywhere.
In my area, I got it wrong. Kate, she picks up Brandy's picture. I'm like,
it's this, obviously.
It's
obviously Brandy's picture. I just heard her voice. I'm like, okay. I'm not even.
I do love that they incorporated those voices into.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was so spooky when you were sitting in the room because their voices were going. You heard footsteps in the back. It was like
it got black.
Yeah, it got completely black. You couldn't see anything. The voices were like so loud, and then the footprints were like all over. So you kept thinking,
so you wouldn't know.
Even if like even if you would have thought this was definitely there, you forget because you're like hearing the voices and it's black and the footsteps and there's so much like sensory override that you're just like keep forgetting that like what was there and everything that's going on. So it was really hard.
Kate should have grabbed your picture and not Brandy's. She would like, this wasn't here before. It's like, how do you? Because who would have noticed Rachel's picture?
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Like, this is obviously not here because I didn't care to see it before.
and I'm going to give your groups a lot of slack for this challenge because with a room full of stuff, and like when even on as a viewer, like some of the changes that they would make were like so subtle that I would have been just like, there's like the lamp. They changed the color of the lamp, but it was like a very small change. I was like, I would never have thought about it.
No. And there was so much commotion and junk all over the room. It's like you really didn't know where to look.
And you have fear.
Yeah.
You have fear. You have a time element. There's so much working.
There was a lot going on. I got stuck in the group with the two I thought were the traitors. I'm like, oh, everybody got away from them. Everybody. And I was like, oh, Shelby and Kate. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that they're them.
It's obvious that
however long it was, the black, it would just like when it was completely dark, it messes with your head, so you don't remember anything.
Yeah. Oh, and you had Fergus was trembling.
Yes, Fergus.
Yeah, his eyes are bugging out, looking everywhere.
Poor Fergus.
Fergus was awesome. Poor Fergus.
Oh, I love Fergus. So, Stephanie, you're confident. Nothing has changed in your section, so that's good. Nothing can go wrong there. Ghost hunting is exhausting for Kate, so she has to sit down. Of course. Rachel, you know that there was wine, so that's obviously not that.
Right. I obviously knew there was wine in that, flask. That's one thing I'm great at noticing myself,
Yeah. So, the boys are going to the armory.
And I wonder if Ari gets it again.
Yes, Quentin, Christian, and Ari are going. You're not gonna believe it. Ari gets the shield again, and Stephanie, you said to Shelby that Cerise said she really wanted to be a traitor when she got there and was upset
That was bad
that she didn't. Way to friend it up, Stephanie. So of course it's called tell a friend, telegram, tell a traitor. Shelby tells Andy, Andy tells Cerise.
Whisper down the lane. So I was trying to protect Cerise because Shelby said to me,
Oh, is that how you protect your friends?
she said, do you think there could be a chance that Cerise a traitor? And I was trying to say no, because I know for a fact she's a faithful.
She was upset that she wasn't a traitor.
Kind of upset she wasn't because she was a traitor, because she probably would have been good at it, but she is a faithful. But of course they edit me saying like,
no,
well, I know for a fact Cerise wanted to be a traitor to begin with, and like,
that's it. Stop clip.
Well, like, I read it how you said it. It was like you were trying to say like, oh, I believe her when she was upset that she wasn't picked.
right.
And then Shelby's like, oh, this is my last chance to try to get someone who isn't me voted out.
Right.
Yeah. This is the difference between.
My point was, I know for a fact she's faithful.
Yeah. This is the difference between someone that's done reality before and someone that hasn't, because like something like this, like a reality person be like, man, like how cool would it have been to be a traitor? Whereas, whereas someone new, they're just like, what do you mean?
Well, and that's why Cerise, if you notice, it wasn't like a whole big thing.
Yeah.
Because like I actually talked Kyle and Ryan out of Cerise being a traitor too earlier in the year. So,
right.
like Cerise knows I was like not trying to tell her.
But back to that reality TV matter, like Cerise knows what she's doing. She's like, oh, I'll go in the confessional, be like, man, I thought I was aligned with Stephanie. Like, if she's saying my name, that ain't good. It only takes one person.
That's it. So we're at the round table, and Cerise says, let me go ahead and start this one. I am not a traitor. Don't know this. He said, she said, we said.
Yeah.
But Stephanie, stop it.
I never said I wanted to be a traitor. I'm a faithful. And I, at the end of the round table, said, let me be clear. Cerise a faithful. I know she's faithful, and whatever I said.
Yeah. I thought that was good on Cerise too, to bring it up at the round table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially
start.
first. That's it. Like what I don't know if you guys figured this out then or after the fact. Like whoever says something first, I mean, like that takes balls. But by the time the round table's finished, no one remembers the first thing. So you've got that out. It's in the back of people's head, but not at the forefront.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that too, because I think that was a strategy. And I think like next season, people will start to watch that and we'll see that as a strategy. Because,
only if they watch this podcast and learn.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They'll learn. I think the traders will have a harder time next season because people will have watched this season. You know what I
mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But the first season always evolves too.
Right.
Like, any show evolves after.
Yeah. But I guarantee that like Cerise played such a flawless game that people are going to be talking about it for seasons to come.
They're going to make it a lot harder for traders to ever win again, I think. I don't think anybody's going to be able to play it.
If they win.
If they win.
Who won,
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse because like everyone's going to say, oh, I'm going to play a Cerise game.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You're not Cerise.
No, you're not.
You're not Cerise.
Yeah. It's like when Lynn Spillman was doing casting for Survivor, like people used to go to the group casting things. They're like, I'm going to be the next Jonny Fairplay. And she's like, no, you're not. Jonny can't even be the next Jonny Fairplay. Shut your mouth.
Right. It's true. I mean,
stop. If anyone on this planet thinks you're the next Cirie, guess what? You're not. I swear to you, on all that is holy and all that is unholy, you are not the next Cirie.
Like,
I promise you.
Like,
even her reactions, like when people came in the breakfast room, because I would watch her, she was so good. And she was never, like, the Traitors were up so late, like later than all of us. We all went to bed before they had a murder. And she was never tired. Kate always seemed so tired. Like, you are. Like, you take all that into account.
Trying to get the last drop of that Grey Goose bottle is exhausting, Stephanie.
Seriously. She would come strolling in, like, not have her makeup on, wear sunglasses. She was so tired. And I'm like, yeah, because you're a traitor, I guess. You know?
Anyone listening to me?
Up all night, had to get her cape dry cleaned.
That was,
Yes. So Shelby stayed true to Cody. I mean, she's traitor. But Kate just wants to go before Shelby. Please, dear God, she is out of Grey Goose. Let her go.
I loved this, like, from Kate. This is like the conversation has nothing to do with her. She's like, let me make this about me again.
Please, dear God. Cirie's heart's breaking. And at this point, Shelby has got to be one of the toughest banishments. I mean, I know Cody's was twofold because you guys finally got a traitor, and that felt good. You could see the burden that Cody was carrying, so that's real. But this one is just like, oh, please tell me that we're not screwing this up, because this one, if we are wrong, not only are we idiots, we're assholes.
Yeah.
I felt bad after that one. I really did.
I think that was the one where we were like, just convince us that you're a faithful.
Right.
Keep you here.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. And then Shelby, I think, had the wrong answer, because instead of saying, she was like, turned it around, which I thought what a traitor would do.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm a faithful because, you know, I can prove this to you guys. I've never done this. I've never done that. She was just like, what did I do that's a traitor? Looking back, I see what she was saying.
But that didn't play well.
But even if you knew what she was saying at the time, it's still not the right approach if you are faithful. Like, you can't go like, oh, well, I need you to cross-examine me. Give me what you are accusing me of, and I can counteract it. You sort of have to be prepared with, like, I don't feel like I've done anything suspicious. My connections have been genuine with you guys. Like, I've honestly thought Cody was good. That's why I was giving him my info of my suspicions. I was fooled. Is what it is.
She said nothing convincing. And we gave her a chance even before the roundtable and talked to her about it. And then she just really kind of turned it around on both of us.
Yeah.
So.
Real quick, we have a super chat. Thank you, Cindy Wigglesworth. I believe this is Kelly's younger and much friendlier sister, and better looking, obviously. No, I'm just guessing. These podcasts have been so much fun with Rachel and guests. I hope we get a season 2.
Oh, yay!
Well, I mean, I thought the podcast, yes, maybe the show. Awesome. You never know.
Yeah.
You're talking the Traitors. Got it. Season 2.
Yeah, I think she's talking about the Traitors Fairplay.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you so much for that super chat.
It was really hard because we did feel bad, and it was just like we were wrong, but then we were like, we had good reason to assume she was a traitor. So it was also like, well, we might be wrong, but what are we supposed to go off of? And I felt a little more justified when we found out that Shelby had been lying to us, because
she was a liar the whole time. She was an amazing PR person that changes everything. So, and she's faithful. And Stephanie, you're in shock.
Yeah.
I really did believe it was her at that point.
Oh, I thought you were in shock about the PR thing, because it changes everything. Everyone,
obviously she was lying about something.
Everyone feels awful, and Rachel, of course, you explained you should have voted out Kate.
I know.
And Kate's like, I agree.
Yes, I've been trying to tell you. And Stephanie now knows for a fact, for certain, Cirie is definitely a faithful.
Yeah,
definitely.
Your read is spot on again. You're killing it. You and Quentin with the hot takes. Kate.
I wanted Christian. I did want Christian, for the record.
Kate is amazing at this point. She goes, just a heads up, everyone. You sent home a single mother. I just
I
want
know.
that
Oh, I
on
know.
Oh,
your
and
head.
I loved Ari's reaction. To
Yeah.
it. He's like, and
You're a cancer.
Yeah.
to the-
you are a
Oh,
cancer.
When he said that was like,
Yeah.
And everyone walks away, and she goes, "Was it something
I said?
I know. That was so good.
I am shocked she didn't follow with who farted."
that was so funny.
Oh, I love Kate more than life is. I get mad at her in episode 8, but I love her right now. So it's to the turret. Kate and Rachel are not being murdered. I'm like, all right, I'm good with that. And but there's a knock at the door. Tonight you will recruit a faithful to join you. They can either accept or refuse. Into the episode. Whew. That is a great time for a break in action, and it is for us as well. Remember, shave your balls. Support for Reality After Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's right, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 12 million balls.
The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies.
First off, the Lawnmower 4.0, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever.
Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 4000K LED spotlight that you need for a more precise shave.
Now, I have a dark shower curtain in my bathroom, and I've been looking for the perfect way to shave in the dark, kinda. Guess what? I found it. 4000K LED. No longer a problem. I got perfectly smooth, clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0.
It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code SURVIVOR. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Thanks for sticking with us through the ad break. And don't forget, for more exclusive Reality After Show coverage, visit realitypatron.com. That's reality, Patron.com.
Woohoo! And we are back. Episode 8.
Episode 8. Episode 8. Let's go.
All right. It starts good. Downhill from there. So it begins with our traders discussing who should we choose. They go with Ari. They say he would say yes, right? No, he wouldn't say yes. He would say no. He would say yes. We don't know. Ari gets a letter. Oh, no. And then let the games begin. He's in. He said he's in. Oh.
I thought he was the perfect person to pick.
Absolutely. I was hoping it was going to be you, Rachel, because I don't know. Like, I sensed your screen time increasing, and I'm like, it's increasing for one of two reasons. You're going to become a traitor, or you're going to get murdered,
Oh.
you're leaving. And I'm just like, let her be a traitor. Let her be a traitor. Let her be. If I get a choice, but Ari is the perfect pick.
Yeah. See, I thought. And maybe I'm totally off base. I thought like me or Stephanie would have been better than Ari, because I thought Ari would always be an easy person to murder for the traders. And I thought if you bring me or Stephanie on and you're Sari, then you have this opportunity where you have like the third one of us in our like Snake in the Grass alliance to always be there to defend. And then like, let's say Sari and Christian bring on Stephanie, right? We ban Christian because we all already are suspicious of him. Then you always have Stephanie to convince me, Rachel, 100% that like it's definitely not Cirie. And you know I'm a faithful. I've been a faithful the whole time. So so like I feel like that for Cirie maybe would have been riskier, but like I think it would have been a good choice to bring in one of me or Stephanie for her. But I mean, I guess it didn't matter because
Right. Like, I think the risk of bringing one of you or Stefan from Cirie is if you change your attitude.
Right.
yeah.
Like, she needed you guys to stay a buck. Like how
Yeah.
you were acting with her could not change. Whereas with Ari, I felt like was someone who I felt for the most part everyone thought for sure he's a faithful.
Yeah.
And the way that he was playing, I felt like he could come in and not have to really switch up his game.
Exactly.
Because, okay, I have the information, but it's like I'm not extremely connected to Cirie or Christian, so I can maneuver this. There is a path.
Yeah.
But they should have talked a little bit more about what they were going to do at breakfast because when we get there, the error that Christian makes there,
it's on par with Cody's.
Yeah.
It's worse. It's
Yeah.
worse in my opinion.
So was there any reference to someone getting an offer to be a traitor prior to Christian mentioning it? I mean, like, did
No.
Christian say it as a preemptive strike before Alan came in and said it?
No.
So there's no
said it for
reason
no
he
reason.
should say that.
He went even deeper than what they showed. He's like,
Yeah.
they gave me the traitor rules and like all this stuff. And I had 20 minutes to read them. And after I read them, and we're like,
He gave us like too much detail.
too much
Yeah.
information. And Cirie was like dying.
I bet.
I saw her face and I was like, it was right away. I said to Rachel, like, he's either been a traitor all along or,
Right.
I mean,
Or he accepted and is lying to us.
and he's lying.
Either way,
Like,
he's a traitor.
definitely traitor.
Yeah.
Right, because
Well, your traitor radar has been right on the money this entire time, Stephanie.
Yeah.
right. So like if I'm them, we get to breakfast, everyone comes in, like Mike.
Oh no. Kate comes in first. She goes, "Did I win? Did they all leave? Can I
I locked
more?"
the door. Yeah. Unfortunately, no, she can't. But everyone starts coming in, and I felt like if Ari could have held the shield a little longer before revealing it, I think. But he even revealed it with Christian in the room. I felt like if everyone came in, so you finally get into the room, Stephanie, and everyone realizes, oh, there's been no murder. All they needed to do was Ari pulls out the shield. It's like, I guess they targeted me.
Boom.
And no one died. Because then
And
you
then
you have no clue.
No one thinks that Ari's a traitor.
Yeah, you don't have Christian saying, oh, they gave me an offer and I refused. Because now you're thinking, okay, is there 2 or is there 3? Is there 4? Like, if there was a potential of there being 5 of them.
Right.
But it's like,
It is a bonehead move that makes no sense. Or as I said, the only way it makes sense in my head is that they're like, Alan's going to explain that someone got the offer. So, and
Well, when we saw Alan, I thought he was going to explain that the traitors took a shot at Ari.
yeah,
And that Ari was not murdered because he had the shield.
Right.
Which I think at that night after the banishment would have made sense because Ari was a big Shelby pusher, right? So it would have almost made sense that they want to take a shot at Ari because then it's like puts even more suspicion on Kate.
Right.
yep.
absolutely.
It just idiocy. I did.
But
like,
it's just like Ari walks in is already the second best traitor on the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
easily. So I like Rachel. You walk in. Kate goes, "I'm so relieved." And Quentin is here to once again steer the ship in the correct direction. Guys, for all of you watching at home, and I know that I'm going to be your narrator because I've basically been correct the entire time. Rachel and Kate are the traitors.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
so great when you're so confident and they show you
Yeah.
lying.
yeah,
So
It's like they were arguing with each other and then Cody left.
right.
And now they're arguing with each other.
Duh. So yeah. So then Christian says he was recruited. He said no, and then a bunch of other things, and then smiles at how great he did as he didn't.
And then quickly finds
He's
out
like-
from Ari. It's like,
He goes, "There he goes, huh?
Yeah.
You're welcome."
And he was so
like,
proud
what's
of
the
himself,
point?
too. You know what, Steph? How did we We should have not shut it down. I don't know what it was. I think it was just the fact that Kate was just so bad and coming after me that I let that get in my way.
She got in your head.
Yeah, because we should have just gone for Christian.
It should have been Christian. And I talked a little with Sari about it being Christian.
I know.
And she's like, we just don't have the numbers. It's Rachel.
Yeah.
And Andy was fudging, and Ari was fudging, and Quentin, forget it.
Yeah.
Well, because he knows.
Right. He knows.
Yeah, he has the answers.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a test with the answer key in his hand.
Yeah.
So,
there was a lot of talk at that round table, that a lot more than you saw, and just we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Andy thinks that
Yeah.
Ari is on that. Rachel, you are figuring things out. That is not good news for you. Andy thinks that you're definitely a traitor, and Rachel is smart, so you are Ari and Christian's target. I'm like, oh no, I'm not liking your name coming up more and more.
Right.
And then, but Andy and you, Rachel, you're good, except Andy thinks you're playing them. so you're not as good as you think. But don't worry.
Because it's a game. And
well, it's a game. And I mean, nothing can go wrong today. I mean, it's just an easy 2 hunting cabin challenge.
The cabin's perfect. It's nice.
There's
Carpe
2 groups
diem.
of 4.
Yeah.
You solve puzzles to escape. And Rachel, you cleverly are not on Kate's team.
No.
But you are on Andy's. That's fine. You guys, you're good with her, or you're good with them, except you're not. And Rachel, you kind of got the inside track here. You actually filmed a horror movie in a cabin. And Kate asked, was it your honeymoon?
Yeah, I know. Listen, that was good. I can even admit when something is good. But
God,
I don't know if I heard her. I don't know if I heard Kate say that, because I would have. I don't think I did, because I think I would have been mad. But hearing it on TV, I'm like, okay, that was a good one.
She just has like a machine gun of Rachel insults. Just like, because I have a clip here. How many do I need to shoot?
Right, exactly.
I only need one. I'm gonna do a full chamber just in case.
Yeah, they're. It's loaded. It's loaded. Where's Rachel?
Right.
Like, Rachel goes to pee, and she's like, "You better hurry up and get back here. I have mean things to say to you."
Yeah, I know. So that one was probably one of the best Kate banters of the.
Oh, she's like they're like Rachel's doing a number 2. I don't have time for that. I need to insult her now. Tell her zip it up. Get here now.
Yeah. Kate is like got the insults coming, Kate.
Oh,
It's not personal. She doesn't even.
It's not personal.
I don't even know who you are.
She doesn't even know me.
She doesn't even know you. Oh man, I am so excited for that first Traitor baby. It's kind of a big deal.
I know. No, you know what? I am excited if they do a reunion show. I am excited to say to Kate, I know it wasn't personal because you didn't even know me, but everything.
You have time to work.
Everything you said, yeah, I'll have time to think.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. We'll help you.
Feel free to send me some jokes.
Yeah, please, everyone.
Yeah, people in the comment sections put in some digs.
Yeah, Rachel, comedy's hard.
Yeah,
I learned that every week doing this podcast.
Yeah.
So
Johnny had some misses.
Yeah, shockingly, I do not bat 1,000.
Hey, wait, is that one? That's what you're low this episode too.
Yeah, he's been slacking this episode.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm in the presence of 2 of the most beautiful women in the history of reality television. Stephanie, you missed this on an earlier episode. I was explaining, I saw you at Hearts Reality, and you literally looked like 3 years younger than you looked on your first season of Survivor. And I'm just like, how is this possible?
And you posted that picture of you with your white jumpsuit or your white suit, and then a picture of you with the black and white suit from the press day. And I was like, how do you look so much younger? Like, I think it was like you said 17 years, right?
I know. Well, that picture popped up under my
Gosh.
name today, and I was like, oh, I was kind of wearing the same thing in New York. That was sick.
Yeah.
I had to count I think it's because my face was fatter then. I was younger. My hair's straight now.
No, you look gorgeous.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
You're
That's
so
sweet.
pretty. And every clip on Traitors,
That's sweet.
every single time that you're on that screen, you just like light up the screen.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
You got them
Whatever you're
angles,
eating,
girl.
your
You got them
diet,
angles
whatever
that Kate
you're working
hits.
Listen, I wasn't right about the Traitors, so listen, this is good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
out. At least you looked good.
Yeah, you got the angles that Kate hits 80% of the time.
Mhm.
You're batting 1,000. You're doing
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I was like the fourth oldest on the cast.
it. I don't
Were
believe
you?
that.
Stop
Yeah.
lying to us.
Yeah. Listen, we're not playing. Stop lying.
Yeah.
We're faithfuls here. We're faithfuls.
3, Brandy, and Reza were the only ones older than me.
Okay.
And then it was
Wow.
me. Yeah. I know. I was like, am I one of the older ones here? I was like, oh, shit.
Well,
I
you'd
thought I was
never know.
No.
No,
You wouldn't
yeah.
know.
I would have thought you were one of the young ones. So.
But I give you guys a ton of credit for pulling off this challenge.
Holy moly! Yeah,
In Rachel's defense, like I was on the easy side. We just had to count the mice, and we just randomly picked. Like they went over there, we went over here.
yeah. But if you don't like mice, though, that's a big
That's
deal.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Christian was like up on a chair the whole time. And
I know. I'm like, isn't Christian a military vet? Didn't he like brag about how all the crazy hardcore stuff he does, and then he's freaking out about the mice?
He was on a chair. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Up.
I know.
Me and Ari were having a hard time because they kept moving, but like they weren't that bad. They kind of kept to themselves.
They look cute.
Well, I'm sure they weren't like rabid mice,
Right. Like
No.
I feel like they're trained mice or
Well, I don't think they're
whatever.
trained, but
Well,
I mean,
you know what I
just
mean.
from, they're from a
Very
pet
like-
store.
They're domesticated.
Yeah, they were domestic. They were very calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the maggots were not trained.
Oh
They,
my
they,
God.
they were shoot
biting.
maggots, not working maggots.
Yeah.
And then we had roaches.
Know what they were going through. So we're like, why are they screaming? Like we could not freaking hear what they were saying to us. Even we're like,
And Andy was freaking out more than they even showed on the show.
It looked like Andy went through the ringer on the exit. Like you can see some there. Like I mean, like it's a lot of like I have nothing to add here. But then after the fact, it like literally looked like somebody punched Andy in the face repeatedly for 20 minutes.
Andy was so close to saying the safe word that they kept saying, "I'm at my point," and I was just like, "Okay, I got you. Like, let me do it. It'll be fine." And I felt so terrible for Andy. And then I took off, you can't really tell what I was doing, but I took off my beanie at one point to try to give it to Andy. But Andy could not physically even take the beanie because they were freaking out so much. Like, I really felt for Andy in this competition.
I felt for your thong.
Yeah, my thong. There's maggots in my thong. There were.
no, we
Stephanie,
didn't, they come out and they like take their clothes off.
Yeah.
And there's like stuff pouring out of their clothes, and me and Ari are like, "What is that?" And they're like, "There were maggots," and we're like, "What?" And then we were like helping them get it off like their legs, and
it was so much.
It was
Yeah,
White Lotuses. Mike White was like, "Thanks for the reference."
Yeah.
No, and you know what else was crazy was that whatever these bugs were, they were like biting us. And I had never, like in Fear Factor, they put us in a coffin, like a clear coffin with the bugs, but like they didn't bite. So I don't know what kind of bugs were biting us, but I just remember thinking in my head, like these bugs are not happy. They're biting us right
Don't
now.
cockroaches bite?
Yeah.
Cockroaches do bite, but it wasn't
they had
cockroaches.
bug bites all over.
The cockroaches couldn't have gone down, like they went down my pants. It had to have been those small little ones. So I don't know which one it was. They dumped like 3 or 4 different kind of bugs on us.
That's crazy.
It
Wait,
was
I
way
have
too
to say,
much.
I'm dying laughing with Suri because she was screaming.
Oh yeah, Suri. We almost found Suri's limit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You
like,
were just if you thought Andy was gonna quit, I think Suri was right there too.
yeah.
Close, I think.
Yeah, because
And Kate
you
was
hear her say, like, I'm thankful for
yelling at-
Kate.
Yeah.
Kate was like, "Shut up," because she couldn't hear.
Yeah, Kate. Kate ain't got time for that.
No, she's like, if you don't shut up, we're never leaving.
Yeah, she goes, if you don't shut up, I'm not going to get airtime, and that is not what I'm about right now.
I mean, yeah. Tell us the worst thing you could do to Suri, who like her iconic one of her iconic first lines is, "I'm scared of leaves."
Yeah,
like
sure.
outside. Like,
Right.
oh.
That challenge was brutal, and I was like, we definitely lost. Like, I felt we were in there forever. I was like, we are not going to the armory. Like,
But I didn't think there was any way we lost against that other group, because I didn't think Kate would do it, period. I didn't think Suri would be able to do it. I thought Suri might just like go through it, like through the process. I didn't think Quentin would do it. Quentin said if he had those bugs dumped on him, he would have just like quit. So I think Quentin might not have been able to do it. I didn't know Christian was going to be scared of the rats, so I thought Christian would be fine with the bugs, and I thought Kate would just like quit. And if it was Christian and Suri, I thought maybe they would finish, but like I don't know. I didn't think, and
I just felt like we were in there forever. Like we couldn't get a combination, and I was like, "There's no way. Like this is too long."
And then they didn't show the whole that we had to get balls from the center to get out to get the final padlock. And in the center, there were snakes and tarantulas. So I don't know why they didn't show that part, because I thought that was
I'd much prefer the UK one. There was, from my recollection, there was no bugs or animals. No. Like it was a lot more like it was a lot more of like an escape room,
just an escape room.
A lot less fear factor.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
like maybe there was like water
Rachel
coming up.
Fear factor, so let's just mess with her.
Stephanie, what's scarier, this challenge or the coffin?
The coffin was easy for me.
Okay.
Because I'm not afraid. I'm not claustrophobic at all.
I am.
So, I mean, then if you're claustrophobic, you couldn't have done it at all. And then this, if I was on the bug side, this one definitely. But the rats weren't anything for me either.
Yeah, I'm not scared of bugs or
this
any
one was definitely all around. This one was tougher, probably because the bugs dumped into your clothing. Disgusting. Yeah.
And then sticking your head through the holes. They were like, no, you have to stick your head through to get the numbers. You couldn't just like get the numbers and grab them. You had to put your head in and grab them with your teeth, and that was awful.
You were awesome.
Sounds like Jonny Fairplay at 1 a.m. sticking your head in holes. Count it.
Yeah, that's counted.
Yeah,
I'll be here all week.
But very impressive. Both teams get out. But of course, the only team that's going to go to the armory is the one that has Ari in it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Of course.
Yes. I like Alan was pretty funny. So sorry. Apparently there were some bugs there.
Yeah, I know.
Fergus has to do a better job dusting.
Yes. Oh, Fergus.
That was great.
Alan is so great.
So great.
Perfect host for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, armory trip is Rachel, it's you, so you should be safe.
Right.
Andy, Stephanie, you might even save Rachel if you know she's on the. Oh, you can't give away your shield, but if you could, you would. And Ari, it doesn't matter. You guys aren't getting it.
Yeah.
Suri is doing everything she can to save you, Rachel. I'm like, oh, please do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's time for the armory. It's Ari again, 3 times in a row. You wouldn't believe it, but it's true. And so the traitor and the shield are one. So as a result, no one is safe. It's time for the round table. And Christian's plan is to shut up.
Yeah.
That's not possible. That's not a
good plan. Good plan for him.
Yeah, but the first thing he's going to do is like, oh, there's a light. I must talk about this.
Yes. So we are now up to $1,686,800 in prize money for whoever is the remaining faithful. If you get out the last traitors, or the traitors will be splitting it. Kate begins. I'm voting for you, Rachel. Thanks, Kate.
No, stop there, Kate.
This is not new information.
Right.
Stephanie, here you are as the voice of wisdom. You're like, look at the votes. It's obvious that you and Rachel are not traitors. Look at every time, like we voted out one. We're the ones that voted for that one.
Right.
So we're not sending home one of our own. And Rachel, I do love this. You promise on future friendships.
I know.
I was just like, wow. I mean, like, if there's nothing left in the tank, huh? Just future friendships.
Well, it made sense. I felt
I liked it
for that being the pitch to Andy, because the whole episode Andy's talking about how, like, one,
you separated yourself.
Well, it's like the whole thing of Andy was like, oh, I'm totally prepared for this game, and the whole show is about how Andy was never prepared for this game. They are valuing the emotional attachments more than the strategy of it all. And this is the episode where they're like, but what if that's the manipulation? What if it's the emotion that's judging or like clouding my judgment? Right. So then to pull on that like one more time, I felt like was the only string you could pull on to try to get Andy back to seeing, okay, I can trust you.
Like literally that was what I felt like. And it was, that was the only way to get through to Andy. But I mean, alas, it did not work.
But Andy, I think they show a part where Andy says, could it be Christian? I mean, that really
one of the sweet rides, they did show that.
Andy touched on it a little bit. And so we did try.
Yeah.
And
but once we get to Sari throwing you under the bus, I'm like, ooh, this is not good. And but this is followed by you, Stephanie, going, I believe Rachel.
Yeah.
And so at this point,
which is shooting myself in the foot because I'm way outnumbered now. At that point, you need to go with the numbers and shut up. But I was just like, I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. So Rachel, you call everyone a bunch of fucking idiots. I'm guessing you're not talking.
Oh, and I love that. It's like it's okay when Brandy calls everyone idiots and everyone laughs it off. But when you do it, it's like, oh, this is personal.
Yeah, this is personal.
I know.
So I thought this was business for you. Why did you make it personal by calling them a bunch of fucking idiots?
I know, right?
And like this is the thing I wanted to like touch on. I said to Jonny and Dan when I entered the StreamYard, it was. I feel like people overvalue, especially people who follow a show. When someone says like, this is a game, I can separate game from real life. Like that's what everyone intends to do. Right, you can't just then, because someone says, oh, I treat this like a game, I don't treat this with emotions, doesn't mean that they're not allowed to have emotion and not allowed to be emotional about something happening where you had trust in Ari, you had trust in Andy, and seeing them physically betray you.
Yeah.
You have Sari physically write your name down. It's like you're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to you're realizing I've lost this game. I'm going home.
Right.
I'm gonna allow myself to be vulnerable here. I'm gonna allow myself to be emotional. And then have someone like Quinn be like, you know what? Even if I'm wrong, I'm happy because your true character came out when you had pressure. I'm like, bro, you haven't had your name touched. Like, go sit down.
Literally,
Take several
right?
seats.
I know.
Child, please.
Thing too, where
Child, please.
At that point, I realized I was on trial, and I realized that I was going to go home, and I almost, because they had kept telling me, you look at it like, because that was their argument. It's a game for you. It's a game for you. So at that point, I was like, I will show them my real emotions. I will just, maybe like if they see this real Rachel, then they'll start to realize that it is not just a game. But I don't think that was there was nothing I could have said or done. No. And I try to be so present when I'm playing these games where I take it all in, wear my heart on my sleeve. And I want to be in the moment because, you never know when you're going to have this moment again. So I let myself just feel everything that I was feeling. And that's when all this came out. And I think I'm the only person the whole show that is talking when other people are like putting their name up, which I realized after watching that, I was like,
talk to the end, like you defend yourself to the end
until the end. And did they do that in the UK ever, Alex?
They would make comments as like people were showing their votes, but like I think like in the UK it was very much like as soon as you wrote that name, it was locked. Like you're not changing it at all. It is on there, but like you would have people like making comments as they were doing. The UK was also trying to be a lot more friendly to each other, though, throughout the whole process.
Americans are assholes.
Yeah, but she's not the first person that said you're a bunch of effing idiots. I mean, Kate tell me to F off half the show.
Yeah, I know.
Can you call Kate an asshole again for the third?
I love it.
Have you ever heard a woman call another woman an asshole ever? Up until
Philadelphia, that's what we say.
Really? I have never heard a woman.
Anybody that is like a consistent asshole. Man or woman, you're an asshole. That's
That's
it.
crazy. I have never heard a woman call a woman. I love it. I'm for it all day long, but I've never heard it in my life.
It's
I'm using it going
Northeast.
forward.
It's a Northeast thing.
The Northeast. Like even during rolling the barrels, I look at her. I'm just like, she's just an asshole. I mean, there's no like I just throw the money. At one point, I was like Rachel because she wouldn't give her the money. I'm like Rachel, tackle her.
Yeah, I know, that is true. That was great.
None of this airs, but
Right.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, it's a riot. Like, I mean, I can hang with her probably any day of the week. Actually,
Right.
In a game show like that, when you're really trying to figure out who the faithfuls are, she was an asshole.
Yeah, the
So-
word.
So it is time to vote, and so that means it's silent time. Rachel's not done. Vote Kate. Vote Kate. Just throwing it out there. Vote Kate. And Alan literally has to say, the time for talking is over.
I know.
I just need to repeat myself.
Shutting me down.
Yeah.
And I love the fight. I'm here for the fight. And Ari votes Rachel, puts a sad face. You're like, why the sad face, Ari? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, you wrote my name. Own it.
Right.
You know, you don't get to do a sad face. And if you do,
Right.
it doesn't count. Don't
And-
care.
And the one thing that grates on me, if I was in these games, like playing the games that you guys get to, the one thing that's a trigger for me is something that Christian does every single time. He puts your name down and goes, "It's nothing personal.
Oh,
It's nothing." I'm like, don't. If it's not personal, don't say it. Don't say it. Like, please. That doesn't help anything.
Right.
Shut up. You're a traitor. You wear rugby shirts for whatever reason.
Yeah, tucked in.
Yeah,
I know.
tucked
Well,
in.
that's why I was like, but it is Christian.
It is.
But it was personally.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, it is because we're
Yeah.
at the end of the game.
At the end of the game, and they were literally backstabbing me. Like we had talked in a room, and they showed this that we had all said we're going after Kate, or we had all talked about this all
Right.
day in a room together. Like we're buddies. We're all. on
That's
this-
why it was that's why it was a blind side.
Right, and that's why I said to them too. I was like, "Hey, I pulled Andy aside. I feel like I'm not comfortable. I think I've been hearing my name, Christian. I said the same thing. I feel uncomfortable. I've been hearing my name, and all my friends were like literally lying straight to my face. That's why it was also so raw. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But it created such a great, like, from a TV aspect,
Oh,
it's a
for
great
sure.
moment because, like, us as the viewers know you're right.
Yeah.
So
this
that
one hurt. This one hurt me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think
so
a lot of people were
real quick before the finish. I mean, we have you. Congratulations, Kate. You're a great fucking traitor.
And I'm like clapping for her. And
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, that was so good because Kate's definitely a traitor, and that's going to make television, and it's going to be great.
Yes. So, Quentin is not sorry because he knows that you're a traitor. So
Right.
stop it. And then Sari, this is the moment. Please don't say it, Sari. I can't with you. My heart is broken. And then you finish with everyone at this table is wrong. Thanks, Kate. And Kate says she is okay with it because she finds you offensive.
that was low.
I know.
Okay. For the record, I would not use the word offensive, Rachel.
No.
But I will use the term extra,
Yeah.
and I mean it,
Yeah. In
And
the
I
nicest
wouldn't-
way.
and I would not want you any other way.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Oh.
if you were not extra, you wouldn't be Rachel Reilly. And
Right.
there's a reason that you continue to get these calls, and there's a reason that for some of us, you continue to get our heart.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
Yeah, there's a reason why people like you, people like Brandy, like your exits are just like so amazing. Like, be above all else, you know it's a show, you know it's a game,
Right.
and you're like, this is, and it's real emotion, but you can tie it into like this is also entertainment. Like this is your moment,
Right.
Yeah.
and you are able to maximize those moments, which is
Right.
so critical.
Yeah.
This hurt. This really.
Oh,
I mean,
it was gutting for me when I
it
watched
was.
it last night.
I said I'm sitting here crying, and I'm just like, okay, thanks, Rachel. You're an ass.
know, I was
Hey,
so-
hey, Rachel, you're an asshole. You
I
made me cry.
know.
How about that?
I have so many people texting me, why am I crying at your banishment?
Aw.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have gotten that from a lot of people though. So I guess people are very emotionally invested in the show, which
That's
is
a good
something
thing.
that you want to see in
Yep.
a show, right? Like, props to Studio Lambert and NBC because like, I don't know the last time I was emotionally invested where I cried when someone went home on a show. Like,
Right.
I can't think of a time when I was so emotionally invested in a show where I was like, oh my gosh. And
Australian Survivor and Survivor South Africa.
okay, yeah.
That's the correct answer.
They are good at editing those stuff, but it's real. I also think a lot of people are just like sad because like, God damn it, the Rachel Kate feud's over. What's the next show that we can put both of them on?
So funny.
I know.
So, well, I'm looking. I have not watched up after this episode, so I'm expecting Stephanie's prediction that she's a traitor, and that.
Oh, I know.
And also to touch on that, it's like we see during this episode, the plan from Christian is okay. We vote out Rachel, and then because Ari has the shield,
Right.
we can vote out Stephanie. And the one thing I will say, I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
But as like a gamer, someone who thinks about the strategy, like I think that's the worst idea he can do because that outs potentially Ari. Because if you targeted someone that was in that 4 and no one's saying it, because I'm assuming you guys made like a pact similar in the UK where it was like, we're not going to tell anyone if we found the shield, we'll talk about it at breakfast and do the reveal there.
And then
so
those people that went in should be safe.
Because why would you risk it?
Yes.
Right.
So I'm just like, you have to take out someone who didn't go, even if there's someone who has suspicion on you. It's like you sort of just have to deal with it.
Right.
Like essentially they should murder Quentin because that night, and then also they're going to want to keep Stephanie in because Stephanie is an easy banishment because Stephanie and Kate go against each other. Stephanie is going to argue, it's Kate. Kate's going to say it's Stephanie and, whatever.
Right.
And it probably save
shields for the traitor.
Like, honestly, my bold thing would be take out Kate. I would potentially take out Kate here because it's enough of a thing, especially if I'm Sari. I feel like taking out Kate here, there's no blowback on you.
Right.
And the way that Quentin and Andy are playing, they're not thinking at a strategic level of like, well, why would you take out Kate here if everyone's suspicious? They're just going to be like, well, her and Stephanie were fighting. So it was obviously Stephanie.
Right. It's obviously Stephanie.
Right.
So you're going after Stephanie.
That's a smart move. So, well, really quick, the circle of truth. Rachel, you say, Kate, I don't care. Just want to get one last dig. I am a faithful. You're a bunch of idiots, and none of you are going to win money. Deuces.
Yeah.
For the record, this is copywritten Jonny Fairplay. Just throwing it out there. I usually don't.
Fairplay. It was behind my back.
Okay, I don't usually sue for one, so you're okay.
They're like, "Are you throwing the finger?" I was like, "No, it was deuces." Like,
Deuce.
Peace out. I don't care.
Yes. So it's only 2 more round tables. Andy walks out. Stephanie to Christian. You look like a complete idiot, or maybe not if you're a traitor.
Right.
And so it appears as though Christian is the top suspect, and the recruitment story was just as dumb as Cody's dumb story. And Christian and Ori walk up the stairs and say, "Good night, traitors are going to bed."
Gosh, they said that. That's so funny.
Just do not care at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow. Rachel, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You played a great game.
Thanks.
Yes.
I mean,
I wish we would have got Christian out.
I know. I wish we would have too, but
so
hindsight's 2020.
Stephanie, you're still in it, so you could win.
I could.
I mean, all you have to do is out Ari and Christian
and Sari, who's definitely a faithful.
Who's definitely a faithful.
and convince Quentin, who has the best reads in the whole game.
Yeah.
And Andy, who is not, who would never think that this is a game.
Yes.
So is offended when someone says it's a game.
Yes, the odds are in your favor.
Yeah.
I like your chances, Stephanie. So, what are we doing with the prize money? Drinks on you?
Exactly.
Feeding everybody to a vacation. Just Tunnel and a couple others.
Well, I wish what they would have shown this episode.
Okay.
It's on you. Perfect.
Heard it. Hey, it's documented.
Everybody come to Florida. We'll take a boat somewhere. Promise.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, perfect.
I bet you bought a yacht with your money.
Ourselves or a boat that Kate would charter.
Hire Kate to be the hostess.
Perfect.
We're going on the deck.
I do not want to see Kate's Yelp reviews.
No. But you know
No.
what? I wish they would have shown this episode. Stephanie and I were talking. We had really good like end game ideas. If I wouldn't have gone home, it was like we kept saying like Andy, we pull Andy in, and we were like, we can have and we thought Ari was a faithful. We have the numbers. The four of us would have the numbers against the traitors if we can get out a traitor. We thought Kate was a traitor this episode. Or this banishment, if we get out Kate, we will have the numbers and the traitors. As long as the four of us always vote together, there's no way we could lose, right? So,
And we
we thought we were really like thinking strategically. We just had really bad reads on who the traitors were.
Yes.
Hey, and no fault of your own. It's a hard game to figure it out when you don't have any like clues. You don't you are only going based off suspicion, how people are acting day to day. It's like there's nothing you can do unless you're exceptionally good at reading like Quentin is.
Right, exactly. But if you had Quentin's reads the whole time. And that was the thing too, which I felt Quentin really messed up in this episode because I think he voted personally. Well, like he just didn't like me, and I don't think he ever would listen to me because I did pull him aside and I did talk to him and I told him, I don't think you're a traitor. Like, I'm not a traitor. These are the reasons why I'm not a traitor. And it felt like he was listening to me, but then I think he just didn't like me. So I think he was just like, I'd rather get rid of people I just don't like, you know?
Is he a bro?
He's such a bro.
I mean, he's a political analyst.
Yeah, he's a bro.
Yeah. So I mean, so you're just incorrect because you're a woman.
I mean, honestly, that's what it felt like, and it was such a bummer to feel like that because you're just like, there's nothing I can do to convince you. That
Maybe show him some previous seasons of shows. It's just like, hey, dum-dum, I'm smarter than most bros.
Right. And I said to him too, I was like, I'm a loyal. I've never lied in my games. I made a great point also in the banishment, which obviously would never air. But I said, listen, from a production standpoint, are they going to really have a Cody from Big Brother and a Rachel from Big Brother as two traitors?
Nope.
No, never from a production standpoint. But of course, nobody listened. And even Stephanie was sitting there when I said that and was like, yeah, like, why would they, why would production do that and have two people from the only two people they picked from Big Brother, both of them are traitors? Like, no way. And, but they just, nobody listened. And I was like, that should have been my strongest, like, Hail Mary, where people were like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, but non-reality people don't get that stuff.
I mean,
no.
But Kate was in there. Like, Kate could have at that point.
Kate doesn't care.
No, Kate doesn't.
She is not there to win. She is
and it's not a competition.
She really wants to be banished so she can say you're all stupid. She is begging for that moment and nothing else.
And I will say it's almost like a massive compliment that like they constantly say to the both of you, like you guys are just so cutthroat players. That's what you're known for. I'm like, you do realize they were cutthroat because they were both underdogs.
Right.
Like 70's original season, she's literally the only person from her original tribe.
They created a verb because of her.
Right, exactly. The sole survivor, like on her tribe, like by herself.
Yeah.
And then it was so weird because I was like, I would argue too. I'm like, I was never cutthroat on Big Brother. And for all these people that said they're Big Brother fans, I was never cutthroat on Big Brother. Like, I'm actually just good at competition.
Yeah, you're very
competitive. I'm very competitive, and that's why I won. Because I'm never cutthroat. Like, I don't really have good strategy. Or on Big Brother, I didn't. I felt like on the Traitors I did. But on Big Brother, I didn't have good strategy. I didn't really have a lot of good, like alliances or I was always so loyal to a fault where I would trust people. Right. And I would rather take Portia on my final two. I could have lost. I almost lost because I took Portia over, cutting her at the end and taking the easy decision. So I always kind of had that argument too, but nobody believed me. I don't know. I thought I made a lot of good arguments and it was just,
I thought you made
that wasn't going to get through.
But people's decisions were made. Like you could not.
Yeah.
It was almost frustrating because the roundtables were developed for us to talk and put everything out on the table. And we should have been able to sway people's opinions at the roundtables, but you you couldn't.
But it's
And
almost like tribal council and Survivor. The decisions are made before tribal council.
A lot of times we couldn't even talk before.
Right.
Like we
We
were
didn't have time.
they wanted us to save it all for the round table. People's decisions were already made by the time we got there half the time.
Right.
And that room was just a very stressful room. It was freezing cold purposely. They played this weird song that never aired.
Yeah.
Like you went in there and you just like you had anxiety and you started everybody, you felt you were on the hot seat. So
And just imagine a non-reality person that's never gone through anything like if you're freaked out by this and you guys are vets,
Right.
you know, to have someone that, you know, that this is a whole foreign new world. They're just like, I got the name I knew before I came in and that's it.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And they're going in there like, oh, Sari told me she's doing this, so I'm doing this. So you know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what happened. And I think that was the unfortunate part with playing with a mix of reality and a mix of newbies, where it was way harder to convince them to do anything at the round table, convince them. Like we had one like window of convincing, and then it was like the window was closed because nobody would change their minds. Same thing with Kate. Like Kate was never playing to win, because if Kate was playing to win, she would have, when I pulled Kate aside to work with her, she would have, you know, worked with me and Stephanie and thought like maybe they are faithfuls, but like she didn't care.
She didn't care.
Right.
It was just, she did not care.
Yeah.
And especially once Brandy and Rez were gone, she checked out.
Yeah,
like,
I think so too. Yeah.
She was so mad that you guys were literally holding her hostage.
Yeah. She was like, I would be happy to get you unheld hostage.
Right.
I would be happy to let the chains go, Kate. Like, let's get her out of here.
Right.
I thought Kate was almost going to be a week where I thought after she threw the barrels, it would be an easy week for us to get rid of Kate.
Right.
Oh, there's Kate saying, vote Rachel. I hear Kate in the background.
Right. Literally. That's my daughter.
So, Stephanie, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Steph_LaGrossa_Kendrick.
All right.
And then I have a link tree on my Instagram where you can find all of my handles, because I don't know.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, though.
No problem.
Instagram. I put everything on Instagram first.
Perfect. Dan, where can we find you? You've been quiet. What's been going on with your mic?
Oh no!
Oh no, we can't hear you.
Find him at Montchal4.
Yes, Dan's at Montchal4. I've seen Dan talk. I'm just like, is he working on his microphone? And apparently he is, and he has not fixed it. But hey,
can I say something before we like wrap everyone out? Because I want to say before Stephanie leaves that like I really appreciated having you in the game, and for me, like just having you there was such a breath of fresh air to know that I always had someone I could talk to, and like I thought you were so smart at the game, and I don't think they even show as much of like the gaming that you were doing, but I always felt like you had good reads. And even though it like we were convinced it was Kate because, you know, Kate was doing crazy things, but like you had, you know, you saw Cody, you saw the Christian of it. And we talked about this. You did see the Sari of it. Both of us saw the Sari of it, but we were too, you know, we didn't want to see the Sari of it and we didn't care. So it was like, that was hard, but I just loved that. I thought you were so good at this. I thought you were so good at snake in the grass. I thought you were just like, you're such a fun person to have on these shows and to play with. And I think you add so much to the show. I love this opportunity. I'm so glad that we're friends. And
I loved being with you on it and not against each other.
I know.
I mean, I knew I was it from the beginning, and you know, Sari was just on to me, but you know, once she was on me, you were all on me, and I screwed up a little bit.
I've been trying to play with Stephanie for years.
Yeah,
never
the best person to play with.
Oh,
okay. Great. Again, over my head.
Oh, God. Good thing my daughter's not in the car.
I know.
What did he say? No, this was a really fun reality show. I mean, it was extremely stressful. It was so different from Survivor, so much different from Snake because it was so much longer. Like if you hang in there, but having a familiar face that you could trust. And Rachel, you're really smart. Like she's really smart. She's really on. And I mean, she was adamant it was Kate. And then I was like, all right, since it might be Cirie, but I don't think it's Cirie. So I'm going to go on the Kate train, But it's really important because even on Survivor, when you really can't trust anybody too, sometimes you need somebody that's familiar.
Yep.
So you were that for me. And Cirie was that us a lot of the game.
I think Cirie is protecting you guys.
Yeah.
I think Cirie protected us.
Yeah.
Did protect her from a faithful standpoint because a lot of people were on to her very early on because you knew there had to be a celebrity girl. Who's the celebrity girl?
Right.
But it can't be Cirie.
Right, of course.
It's not you, but it can be Cirie, the only person left.
Cirie would have been the perfect choice, and she would have been perfect at it.
Yes. So,
and I knew that. But I was like, no, maybe it's not because her reactions, and I watched her every move.
Yeah, she was good. Cirie is good.
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 more episodes to cover. We will be doing that tomorrow, which is Monday, January 16th. And Dan will be back. His microphone will be working. Alex, who you can find at Trias95 on social media. Alex will be joining us again. Even though she was banished, Rachel Reilly is back tomorrow. Yay! Thank goodness. And she's bringing along a traitor. Cirie Fields joining us tomorrow for the podcast. Happy MLK Day. We got Cirie. Does she win? Does she lose? Is she voted out? Does Stephanie win? We don't know. We find out tomorrow. Whew, so much pressure. I got to take off this suit. It is too much for me. So I will be watching naked for the next 2 hours. Do not call. Do not text. Do not disturb me.
That's like number 6.
I don't know. Does that even count?
Yeah, we'll count it. We'll count it.
So, Rachel, where can we find you until tomorrow?
At Rachel E. Reilly Viegas and at Rachel E. Reilly on Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. Thank you, so Rachel. I'm so sorry you were banished, but that doesn't mean you're done here.
That's right.
There is more to come.
Banished from this podcast.
I love it. And thank you, Dan. Thank you, Alex. I'm Jonny Fairplay at Jonny Fairplay on all social media. If you want to see me live, I'm doing a Survivor viewing party for season 44, March 1st for the premiere. I'm going to be in New York at Bounce Nightclub. March 15th, I'm going to be in Nashville at Doghouse Saloon. And March 22nd, I'm going to be in Cincinnati at the Filson. All of these dates, I will be joined by the Queen, Sandra Diaz-Twine. Get tickets for all of those at SurvivorTix.com. That's SurvivorTix.com. Can't wait to see you. Support the podcast. Click the subscribe button on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Click the subscribe button. Rate us 5 stars. Say it's the greatest podcast of all time. It helps the randomly perfect algorithm, which helps with advertisers. And of course, the best way to support the podcast is become a patron. Go to realitypatron.com. That's realitypatron.com. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, I'll send your money back. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
And for more bonus content, go to realitypatron.com. That's right, become a patron now. Get additional coverage of all your favorite shows, the weekly Q&A, and you become a member of the secret, exclusive Facebook group. That's realitypatron.com.